The B-2 Spirit has long symbolized stealth bombing supremacy, prompting Russia to pursue its own counterpart, the Tupolev PAK-DA. Envisioned as nuclear-capable, continent-spanning stealth bomber, it has yet to fly after years of delays, budget strains, corruption, and shifting priorities worsened by ongoing war, from Soviet holdovers to stealth dreams. When the Soviet Union dissolved in 1991, Russia inherited a respectable, if aging, strategic bomber fleet, the propeller-driven Tu-95 Bear, slow but reliable, and the Tu-160 Blackjack, a supersonic heavyweight capable of breaking Mach 2. Both could still deliver nuclear payloads effectively, but they lacked one increasingly crucial attribute: stealth. In the 1990s and early 2000s, stealth was the holy grail of bomber design. The American B-2 Spirit, introduced in 1997, had shown the world that radar invisibility was achievable. Moscow wanted its own version, something to signal that Russia was still a first-tier military power. The PAK-DA program was conceived in the late 1990s, with a full decade spent just defining requirements. By 2007, preliminary studies wrapped up, and the Ministry of Defense began allocating funds. In 2009, the prestigious Tupolev Design Bureau, the same company behind the Tu-95 and Tu-160, was officially awarded the contract. The Great Design Debate. Inside the Kremlin, agreement on what the bomber should be proved elusive. Some officials wanted a fast, stealth-modified Tu-160 derivative. Others argued for a true flying wing, a Russian B-2, sacrificing speed for radar invisibility and range. By 2013, the stealth-first camp had won. The PAK-DA would be subsonic, long-range, and nearly invisible to enemy radar. A preliminary design was completed and approved in 2014, and optimism began to build. In 2015, the Kazan Aircraft Production Association, Russia's main strategic bomber plant, received 5 billion rubles, about $83 million at the time, to modernize for PAK-DA production. Moscow even set an ambitious goal: have a prototype ready by 2018. But within the same year, the Kremlin changed course. Rather than making the PAK-DA a top priority, Russia restarted production of the older Tu-160M resources, and manpower shifted away from the stealth bomber project, and momentum slowed dramatically. Slow progress, lofty promises. Despite reduced funding, Tupolev pressed on. By 2017, a full-scale mock-up was built to test radar signature and aerodynamics. In 2020, Russian state media claimed that multiple PAK-DA airframes were under construction, and that the bomber's first prototype engine, an updated NK-32 derivative, had undergone initial testing. Officials hinted that flight trials were imminent, but as of 2025, no prototype has flown. The reasons are complex and rooted in technical challenges, economics, politics, and war. A flying wing for the Russian arsenal. The PAK-DA is designed as a flying wing, an aircraft without a traditional fuselage or tail, just a broad, aerodynamically efficient wing. This configuration is ideal for stealth, as it eliminates sharp edges and protruding surfaces that bounce radar signals back to the sender. Its stealth package would also include radar-absorbing materials, deeply buried engine intakes to hide fan blades, and S-shaped ducts to block direct radar exposure. Exhaust nozzles would be recessed to minimize infrared and radar signatures. Power is expected to come from two modified NK-32 engines, the same base model used in the Tu-160, but re-engineered for subsonic efficiency. These engines are reportedly designed to operate for up to 30 continuous hours, function in extreme temperatures from -60 degrees Celsius to +50 degrees Celsius, and withstand electromagnetic pulses from nuclear detonations. The bomber's maximum takeoff weight is projected at 145 to 160 metric tons, comparable to the B-2 Spirit, with a range of around 12,000 kilometers without refueling. With aerial refueling, it could theoretically strike targets anywhere on the globe. The crew would likely number 4: pilot, co-pilot, navigator, and weapons officer, each with advanced digital displays and an AI-assisted flight and targeting system, an active electronically scanned array, radar, electronic warfare tools, and secure data sharing systems would allow the PAK-DA to coordinate strikes in real time with other Russian forces. An arsenal to match the platform. The PAK-DA's planned arsenal reads like something lifted straight from a Cold War strategist's dream, combining extreme range, stealth, and devastating firepower. It is expected to carry KHBD long-range stealth cruise missiles capable of striking targets over 6,000 kilometers away, giving it the ability to launch deep penetration attacks without ever entering hostile airspace. Complementing these will be KH-102 nuclear cruise missiles, each packing a warhead of roughly 250 kilotons, about 12 times the destructive force of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Perhaps the most formidable addition to its payload is the KH-95 hypersonic missile, designed to reach speeds between Mach 5 and Mach 10 and capable of carrying nuclear warheads up to 500 kilotons, with an estimated range approaching 7,000 kilometers. Together, these weapons would allow the PAK-DA to strike swiftly from vast distances and with an overwhelming level of destructive potential. Why the PAK-DA hasn't taken off? The PAK-DA's failure to reach operational status stems from a combination of four major obstacles: cost, economic constraints, corruption, and shifting wartime priorities. Although Russia allocated 5 billion rubles to modernize the Kazan production plant, that sum is modest compared to Western aerospace programs, where simply building and equipping a modern assembly facility can cost several billion US dollars. Financial limitations are compounded by Russia's broader economic reality. Despite ranking as the world's third largest military spender with a 2023 defense budget of around $109 billion, this is far behind China's $296 billion and America's $916 billion, and its GDP per capita more closely resembles that of a developing nation. This means Russian engineers can design advanced systems, but rarely have the funding to mass produce them, as seen with the Su-57 stealth fighter, which entered service in 2019, but exists in only about 30 to 40 units, including prototypes. Corruption and inefficiency further erode capabilities, illustrated by scandals such as the substandard Zuber ballistic vests and the embezzled funds meant for overhauling the cruiser Pyotr Veliki. While no confirmed corruption has been tied to the PAK-DA, the defense sector's track record makes it a plausible concern. Finally, the war in Ukraine has dramatically reshaped procurement priorities, with resources funneled into proven, easily manufactured equipment, upgraded T-80BVM tanks, Cold War-era Su-25 attack jets, artillery shells, and drones, leaving advanced projects like stealth bombers at the very bottom of the list, their debut, if it comes at all, likely a decade or more away. Sanctions, the silent saboteur. Western sanctions have also choked off access to critical components. Items like advanced semiconductors, avionics, radar-absorbing composites, and cutting-edge electronic warfare systems are now difficult, if not impossible, for Russia to source. While domestic development can fill some gaps, matching the quality and performance of Western tech has proved challenging. The Su-57 has already suffered from these shortages. The PAK-DA, which depends even more heavily on specialized stealth materials, faces the same problem, a familiar pattern. Russia's history is full of ambitious defense projects that never fully mature. The AEK-971 rifle, the MiG-1.44 stealth fighter prototype, and now possibly the PAK-DA all illustrate the same loop. Announce bold plans, produce a few prototypes, then quietly scale back or abandon the project. Unless there's a dramatic shift in funding, industrial capacity, and geopolitical circumstances, the PAK-DA risks becoming yet another what if, a fascinating design that never transitions from concept to combat ready. An unlikely challenger. Could the PAK-DA someday challenge the B-2 Spirit or America's upcoming B-21 Raider? In theory, yes. The design concept is sound, the engineering talent exists, and Russia has a long tradition of producing innovative aerospace technology under difficult conditions. In practice, the odds are long. Economic constraints, corruption, wartime priorities, and sanctions form a perfect storm of obstacles. At best, we might see a prototype take flight in the next several years, but full production, that could be decades away if it happens at all. For now, the PAK-DA remains more a symbol of aspiration than reality, a sleek, stealthy silhouette in renderings and press releases, grounded by the hard limits of modern Russia's industrial and political realities. And that wraps up our deep dive into Russia's elusive PAK-DA stealth bomber. If you enjoyed exploring the tech, history, and challenges behind this ambitious aircraft, don't forget to hit that like and make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next mission.